Morning. Yeah, I've just come down to Spurn Point, yeah. No, I brought my Canon 7D out, we're gonna have a play with that one. Am I doing what? Am I making a YouTube? Yeah, I'm making a YouTube video, yeah. No, it's been going alright so far. I'm quite pleased with how the YouTube's going, to be honest with you. Any goals for 2022? Yeah, I think 1 million subscribers by the end of the year would be, I think that'd be doable, yeah. Does it cost them? No, it's completely free. Or do they have to do what? No, all they have to do is press the little red subscribe button below the video. No, so I say it don't cost them anything. It's completely free. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to go anyway. I'm just down at Spurn Point. Yeah, I've come out for sunrise. Yeah. No, I'm all right. It's just, do you know when you get on them real funny feelings that you've been watched? Hang on. What are you doing here? So good morning boys and girls, welcome back to another video. Welcome to my channel if you see me for the first time. My name is Chris, I'm a landscape photographer based in the UK, the East Coast, about halfway up the Yorkshire coast, that kind of area. So I tend to come out to the Yorkshire coast for sunrise because it's easy for me to get to. It's not very far to drive and I'm a bit lazy like that, so super fun times. So what we're doing, we've come down to Spurn Point, we're going to do some long exposure, seascape, sunrisey stuff. Now, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more cloud than we've got this morning. It's a very clear day. It's very cold, but it's very clear. So unfortunately, there's no sort of high altitude cloud that's going to add some colour and some interest in the sky. So, well, it is what it is, I suppose. So we're using a Canon 7D this morning. I've already got a shot set up just over behind you. I've stuck a 3-stop ND filter on for this one just to give it that long exposure-ness. Obviously, a 10-stop filter would probably be a little bit too much. So let's get going. Let's take some long exposure seascape photography with a Canon 7D. Cool. Alright, so we've got the first one set up, like I said. Using a 3-stop ND filter, I've kind of got, there's this orange old brickwork ruined square thing there. There is another sort of thing in the sea over there, and in the background there's a wind farm. The sun's going to rise over there, so I'm kind of probably going to put a light source in the sky of this image. I'm probably going to use a radial filter and fake a little bit of light here. Obviously, sun's not quite come up yet, so it needs something. So we're going to do a long exposure. So F11. Let's have a look. 2.5 seconds, ISO 100, and this is a stop overexpose. I'm just going to overexpose this one first just to see how it turns out. Obviously, we've got the dynamic range here. We've got the foreground's quite dark and the sky's quite bright. Now, I quite like that one actually. I just don't like how the wave came crashing over there. So let's just try this one again. I think there's another wave going to ruin this one a little bit. This is the fiddly part. Yeah, I kind of want it to. There we go, let's see if we can do it between waves. That might work a little bit better. There we go, that one's all right. Problem I was having is as the wave was coming and crashing over the old piece of concrete in the sea, it just created a very dark band in the water, so I kind of wanted to avoid that. So we've got that one, so here's the first shot, and we're going to move down there, and we're going to see what else there is to take from Spurn Point this morning. Cool. Right, so I'm kind of stood on, I don't know if it used to be a road or whatever it is, it's some sort of concrete line, but it's kind of heading out to sea quite nice, and because the tide's coming in, the end of it's just starting to sort of get washed over by some of the waves. Now, as far as the subject goes, I'm not really too sure, but there is a ferry out in the North Sea, and I'm kind of wondering with my 24-105, I wonder if I can kind of use the telephoto-ish end of it to kind of get this slab, as it's catching the rising sun over there quite nice. I'm kind of wondering if I can get this with the boat right at the end of it. So it's just going to be a waiting game for maybe a few minutes, just to see if the boat comes in, touches the end, well, sort of lines up with the end of this. Let's see if I can find the boat. Is it on the screen? No, you can't see it on this one because the lens is too wide of an angle, but yeah, just out there is a boat. I'm going to wait until it lines up with the end of this and take a photograph of it. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be long exposure. I don't know if I can do this with a long exposure because the boat is moving. But let's have a look anyway. Let's try. If we don't try, we're not going to know, are we? So let's try it. All right, so the boat is about in position now, so let's take a picture of it. So let's have a look at some settings on the screen. We're at f11, ISO 100 and a 25th of a second using a 2-second timer. There we go. It doesn't look terrible. I've taken way, so I might have to crop this in a little bit just to make the boat pop in the frame a little bit more, but, well, here it is. Here's the second photograph from today. Alright, so image number 3. We're going to go for a silhouette boat because the sun is just low enough in the sky to make this one possible. So just let me fettle with this composition a little bit. So it's going to be like a silhouette sun with a boat on the horizon with the water. Because why not? I like that kind of image anyway. So I've already focused. F11, ISO 100, a 250th of a second. So there's that one taken. All right, so do you know sometimes in life when you make a decision and after a while you kind of wonder, have I made the right decision? And that's kind of where I'm at the minute with my cameras, because about a year ago I decided that mirrorless was the future. I sold my DSLRs and bought a mirrorless camera. And I've been a little bit sad ever since. There's something about a DSLR that you just can't replicate with a mirrorless camera, and I think I know what it is. It's a very simple one as well. It's the viewfinder. There is something about looking through an optical viewfinder that can't be replicated with an EVF. The electronic viewfinders are great, but there's something lacking about. You look through an optical viewfinder on these things and you're looking at real life. When you look through the viewfinder on a mirrorless camera, you're looking at an LCD screen, and I don't know, it's different. Unless you've used both sort of cameras, I can't describe it other than say I prefer an optical viewfinder, which is kind of why I've landed on buying older DSLRs. So I bought a 1D Mark III, I bought a Canon 400D, and I've now bought this Canon 7D, and I absolutely love this thing. It's like my 6D, only a crop sensor, and faster, and professional looking, and it sounds ace. It does 8 frames a second, you know? And this thing's a crop sensor. The body's massive on it. You would never know that this is a crop sensor. Now, I know I'm sort of edging towards that rabbit hole of I'm about to get drowned here, but I'm not saying that size matters, but for an APS-C thing, you wouldn't know that, and I know some people are a little bit self-conscious about size, aren't they? I'm one of them. By that I mean I'm quite short, nothing else. But DSLRs, they've not had their day, and that was kind of where I was about a year ago. I was thinking DSLRs are dead, it's time to get a mirrorless camera. And as time's gone by, it's became apparent that DSLRs are still very fond to me, and this Canon 7D, I'm hoping I'm going to get a lot of enjoyment out of this over the years to come. The shutter in this is rated for 150,000 actuations. I bought it with 36,000 on it, so shutter life, it's got time, it's got time. 18 megapixels, more than enough. Dynamic range, fair enough, it's a little bit lacking, but unless you've got Canon 5D Mark IV or R5 or whatever, dynamic range with Canon, it's always been a bit of a sob story, let's be honest. The Canon 7D in 2022, who'd have thought here? I wonder if there's another picture to be had. Let's go find out. Alright, so I think I've had the best of what I'm going to get from the spot I'm at this morning, so I think it's time to end today's video playing with this Canon 7D. I've had fun this morning, it's been nice to get back to the coast. I always enjoy coming to the coast, it's there's something in me. There's something deep within me. I feel a connection to it. Yeah, been a bit sentimental there, aren't I? So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up because it does really help the video, it helps the channel, it brings new viewers to come and see me, and it really does help push my stuff out there, so I do appreciate it. If you consider pressing the subscribe button, you'll see more nonsense from me in 2022, which is probably going to be a year of, say, using older camera gear, I think. I think that's the angle I'm going to lean into this year. I'm not saying I'm not going to use the RP and the modern stuff, but I'm enjoying using the older DSLRs at the minute, so I think that's probably going to be the angle, at least for the first part of 2022 anyway. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave this with my customary farewell. Sounds a bit like Spock from Star Trek, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it? So live long and not. Peace and goodbye.